use my affiliate link to support the channel down in the description. I think we have not reviewed deck lists in like 2 weeks. So at least all the lists that have come out since then. So this might be a decent place to start. We'll start with Liam. Oh, this is crazy. This is a crazy list. If Sanctifier got banned, this is what our channel member Liam sent in for the deck that he would be running. It's going to be with 3 give and takes, and if you're familiar with this card, it's very interesting because it allows you to special summon 1 monster from your graveyard to your opponent's side of the field, which is very similar to a card called Sanctifier. So it's pretty funny in that use case, but also I don't think it's very good. It's a thrust target, but he also, I mean, he does have thrust, so at least he has thrust with the thrust target. I just think you lose like hard going second with a build like this, but he does have Forbidden Droplet and Super Poly, so and he does have the 3 Cartesia, so you know he's able to get there with the Nadirs and the Shifter and the hand trap package and like Dragoon. You know what? It's not a bad list, but also like I would not run this. What? So yeah, no, it's called We Still Gimmick Locking, and then Super Poly and Droplet. We also have this list right here, which is an adventure branded list, which is kind of neat. That's kind of neat, guys. Oh gosh, I need to click back. So this was a 60 card adventure branded list. Yeah, just like repost your list, David, and let me know when you do, because I'm like so far up, it's gonna like just lose my progress. Just let me know though, and I'll go over it though. We have the adventure package here, which is something you saw in like branded builds like earlier, like when, you know, or before Pote, like a lot of people I saw were on adventure kinda. I saw some people kind of try it out with the last ban list at the beginning. I don't think it's that great, but he said he topped locals with it, so it can't be too bad. With the hand trap package, with the Griffin Rider, obviously to get your negate on board, and you have the regain to play around with the bestial package he has, which I think is strong right now. He has the branded Etude though. Oh, this is a cool build. This is actually a lot cooler than I thought, because it's a true branded synchro list. You do have the bestial package. No high spirits, which is a little weird. I would run high spirits with like more shrouded dragons, but maybe I'm wrong about that. Because like if you don't want to resolve branded fusion since you're playing synchro, it's like you should do that instead, I guess. I'd love to know how this list works. It's pretty cool. Marley Blair would love to. We'll go over your list too. Can't wait to see what you're cooking in the lab. You do have a synchro package of Dissipator, Barone, Cheng Ying, and Chaos Angel. I think those are, I mean, obviously you can make 6s or 10s really easily in a synchro branded list because all your tuners are level 4, and then you can also, they're all lights also, so they pair perfectly with the bestials, which are all level 6. Also, it's really nice to sync off with like a Druid Swarm or like a Saronir. Get a lot of value out of that. And then we see the side deck of the Evenly Anti-Spell with the no Gimmick Pup in the main. However, we do have the Secret Village and Spellcaster plus the Anti-Spell, so we're still floodgating away, you know how we do. So I do like this list. This is actually a super cool list. It's certified fresh. Maybe not the hand traps, but because you're gonna brick a lot on this list. But the theory's like there. You could like definitely like trim up this list a lot. Draken 999's list. We'll go to David's right after this. Is a 44 card Allure Darkness list with Nadir Servant and 3 Super Polys and Droplets. I like it with the Magnamut in the main to maybe up that dark count. We did have a short on that recently talking about just like the fact you need to have ratios that work with Allure Darkness when you run it. If you run too little darks, you're not gonna see enough darks to make Allure worth it. I do appreciate everybody though. I don't know if I said it earlier, but thank you all for 4,000 subscribers. That's just a crazy number I never thought I'd hit. So thank you all very much for that. So yeah, I do like this list. We'll go to David's now. Not too much to say about this. Like, this is like your standard kind of like tournament list. I think this is actually kind of nice. I'm curious how Allure works in this build. Like, do you have enough darks to justify it? Maybe run 2 Tragedy? But this is a cool list. I might want to try this out for a tournament because I've been trying to make like allure work. I just think super poly allure and droplet plus nadir. I mean, no thrust. That's how you make it work. I got it. I got it. So we were at 318 and now we're going to review Mr. David's list. It's a 60 card pile. That's what we've been testing here on the channel, and you guys are going to see a lot of 60 card content coming up. So I know some people have been asking me for that. And we're also going to be playing Master Duel on some 60 card builds. So because I think 60 cards is the way in that format. 60 cards. You have Dark Magician, which I don't love. I don't really love Dark Magician right now. And we do have but I do love the ratio. I mean, you have nice ratios. I mean, only one Quem though with desires. What are we doing? We gotta like, if you banish your Quem, you know, I get it though, it's a tight deck. Like 60 is actually a lot tighter than you'd think, but I like the gas. There's theory like between, like, I love the allures, or sorry, I like the allures, I like the nadirs, I like the super polys. I don't think super poly is bad right now, frankly, especially if you like side Panzer, which you do not. I also think that cross out here is, how do you like cross out? I see you have the imperms and ash, so that's like understandable. You have no thrust, I think, so that makes sense. I actually like this list a lot, frankly. Plus the 2 Mercurier with the 1 kit. With Gold Sark at least, you have the 2 branded in red. With the desires, yeah, my only complaint is like really running another Quem and then maybe a Dark Magician take it out for something. And the side is, I mean, I've been liking 2 Grand, I mean, you should up Mirror Jade or Grand Guignol to 1. You're gonna have no Grand game, but I understand. Like, Lulu isn't necessary, that's why I'd remove Dragoon. Side looks fine. What's good, Elick? How's it going, brother? What's up, brother? How you doing? We're just reviewing deck lists right now. If you guys want one of your deck lists roasted, make sure I feel like I had a tune when I said that. Make sure to post in the deck list category of my Discord and I will roast it. We are going to roast now channel member Marley Blair's deck list here that he's been in the lab with. We did a coaching session with Marley. He's gonna be going to his first local, so we wish him the best with that. Learning the branded lines can be a little daunting, but you know, I think you know, he was pulling off some of his first gimmick puppets. I think I saw before I was even able to respond to your message before stream. And that's awesome to hear. Like, and I really like the build theory here. You have a lot of gas on top of the allures, and then you have the thrust and you have droplet, which you chose to side the super poly. I've been very much debating myself, as you guys saw on my list currently. It's like super poly main or droplet main. I think it's like either or right now. And you can obviously do neither. But I do like the patchwork. I think patchwork is so good with Allure of Darkness. It just makes it so free. You always have the dark, and then it also allows you to play through hand traps with poly and stuff like that. I don't think you need the double poly though. I would side maybe a poly, or you could just main it. But overall, I would not main the 2 polys. Personally, I just think it's a little bricky. Kit is cool too. I really do like the list actually. Lulu's cool. I like the Boral in the side deck. You do have the Magnuma and the 3 Shroudions plus like the polys, so you should be able to get Boral out somehow. Maybe like with a second Brandon in red would help your deck a little bit for sure. Like maybe take out one of the tragedies for a Brandon in red or something. David Crosetta. Okay, well, I not having the Quem or Thrust, that means the list is just fine as it is. I do like it though. Yeah, so no, and then you side the last droplet. Maybe you can find something better for that. I think Evenly's kind of like, it's so hit or miss for me right now. I think I'm gonna take out Evenly. I don't know. It just hasn't been doing too much in my deck, but Evenly is a good card, so I see you have the super poly sides right there. No, you don't need to side the Garura in my opinion. It's probably just Mud Dragon, if anything, or like a Panzer Dragon too, maybe instead of a Garura, because that's good on like the Formula Synchron plus the Flameberg. And then Nibiru is good. I think Nibiru is good right now. And you have the Masquerade. You could probably cut that for, you know, a double Grand Guignol. I think double Grand Guignol is quite good. Alright, now I'm going to go back in time to the 18th, where we were again, and then we will go, we will get to everyone's deck list, but I do want to at least make good on saying, on what I said. So, We got Fabi 2K6. His deck list, they got second place as remote locals, like 30-person locals, so not bad. 55 cards. Do have the Nadir package with the super polys, with the Fright Furs, with the polys. I think you really don't need the double poly, but it's understandable. The Nadir super poly droplet, that's definitely a lot of board breakers, so definitely gotta make sure you have a lot of gas in there. I'd try up the dark count maybe a little bit more. Like that's why I think where I think Desires comes in, that kind of allows you to get more gas, like double Quem. Dark Magician is a nice, I guess, dark addition, but also I don't think we need that necessarily right now. I don't think Dragoon really solves any of our issues necessarily, so you know. So now we have the summon limits in the side and the evenly matched, and then the Nibiru's and the Drolls and the Cosmic Cyclones. And I don't like Droll right now. Personally speaking, I don't think it's that strong in the current meta, but I think it's fine. It's probably fine considering Rogue, you know. And Summon Limit is like fine for going first. I've recommended it in the past, especially for playing through hand traps. It's just like a very similar side deck to what I've ran in the past. I'm sorry guys if I keep yawning. I am tired. I didn't get too much sleep last night. That was my own fault. Ripperoni. So congrats to 2K. Not a bad list. Not a bad list. I do like this. Maybe this list could use some Allure Darknesses. You know, you're getting up to 5. You need some draw power in here, in my opinion. Take out some board, like a board breaker package for some draw power. We got Yada's list, as previously mentioned. I think I'm back on Runic cards. So we do have a Runic Bestial list. With the dualities, the Bestial package, plus the 3 Quem, the 3 Lubellion, the Ecclesias, and the Bestial Luber, with the Golden Sword Soul, with the Tooth Talents, with the Regained to recycle all your Bestials and dissipate or turbo out your deck. I'd see no Crimson Dragon. You can't really make that in this deck, which is unfortunate, but you do have the Seals, which I don't think that's standard. And the side deck is interesting with a lot of discard fodder because you're making Hugin, so you can discard the Shufflers. You do have the Ashes on the side, maybe for Branded, and like Nib. It's a pretty good package against Branded, frankly. And then the Phantasme. I think Phantasme is a little overrated. Cool list though. This is one of those decks I would love to play one day. Wondering if Double Grang is worth it. It says Freddy. This is Freddy's deck list, and intentionally playing a non-bestial Lost build and have been liking it better since I felt like I've been breaking less. Plus, I never really needed them that much, although it reduces on-board power. So I've seen this a lot with branded players, and even I fell into this trap of not seeing the lines with the Bestials. If the Bestials aren't coming up, that's because you aren't going into the correct lines with the Bestials. You have a lot of lines to play with Bestials in that deck. If you're resolving Branded Fusion, you can go Branded Fusion, send Lubellion, and then Lubellion is going to tribute over your Albion and give you a Branded Loss, which allows you to extend off of Cartesia. That should be happening basically maybe every game that you have on some level when you're trying to break a board or when you're trying to set a board. So I think not running the Bestials is taking away a lot of your consistency. It's taking away a lot of your power. It's taking away a lot of your Branded Loss access, and Branded Loss is one of your best cards. So I think that's where you're going wrong with that. I think Soul Release is kind of bad. But you know, it was something we were thinking was good in the beginning of the format too. But I think that overall Soul Release just doesn't hit the other decks. It's okay against Voiceless because you get to banish their spell card, but they can obviously just non-negate a worst case scenario. And then also it's just like it's good against fire. That's about it. But though, because like you want your side deck cards to be like specified for a lot of the top decks, but you also want them to be good against other decks, and like Soul Release is just not good against other decks. So it's just kind of the real issue with that. I do like Pankratops. Droll can go, Nib is okay, as I've said. Cosmic you kind of need. Double Grang is absolutely worth it though. I think Double Grang is insane. You get to do a 1 card gimmick lock off a Branded Fusion with that. Shout Nightfall for that fun combo, which is just like insane. Having 2 Grand Guignol just equals a 1 card gimmick lock. So I think it's worth it for the grind game as well. It's just a really good card. Having like stuff to go into to loop Mirror Jade is all like strong stuff. It's going like used up Mirror Jade Cartesia with Quem on board, like Fuse or like Brandon Red with Adlib, and it's just game over from there if you summon Grand Guignol and like loop a Mirror Jade. Which is why I've been saying, like, I don't think we need Gimmick Puppet or Sanctifier to win. We have a really good deck already, so I think the best hit would be Sanctifier if they were to hit our deck. So let's just be honest. Let's just be honest with ourselves. Hitting Gimmick Puppet does not do anything. But also, like, I don't know if the deck deserves to be hit. You know, I'm just saying if they were to hit the deck. I don't think they should, though. It's like, give us a few more. Give us just a couple more formats of Gimmick Locks, please. Jake the Mountain Man channel member, his Dark Lord Despia list. This is actually a very cool list. I don't know any of these Dark Lord names, but I know the Dark Lords, they have a lot to do with, I believe, discarding, I believe. They're all a bunch of big bodies that can, like, spec themselves out somehow. And it's cool because they all kind of go with the Despia cards, because some of them are fairies. They're all fairies. Oh. No branded fusion, though. Which is kind of surprising to me. Like, I feel like in a list like this, you would want to run branded fusion. Because it's just really free in this deck, especially if you're running the opening with the Aluber. But there's probably not enough room, you know. He is running, it's a cool list. He is running the Dramaturge. Dramaturge, I think, is pretty strong right now, actually. It's pretty good for our Snake Eye matchup. So it's certainly a card we could consider in our branded decks. Masquerade at the double, and you do have the links. Obviously, I guess this makes sense that you don't run branded fusion because you don't want to go, you have links you want to go into. So running the Despia cards still facilitate enough plays for it. And then the solid side deck, I think Ash could probably go. That's just me. He said might swap out Pake for greater polymerization for going first. What is greater polymerization? Greater polymerization. Fusion summon one monster from the extra deck using 3 or more monsters from your hand or field as fusion material. If you do, it gains this effect. It cannot be destroyed by card effects. And it pierces. That's interesting. For like Chimera plays. Or is that even a Chimera play? Oh well. Here's Vanity's deck he's testing out here. I'm gonna start testing this deck. I'm returning player for 2014. Feel free to ignore the side deck for now, since I'll probably have to calibrate it to whatever at locals. Anything I'm missing? Any ratios look weird? Any overall suggestions, guys? I think that you have the Dark Magician and the duality with the Nadir package. So this is actually very similar to my Nats list. This is actually like almost card for card my Nats list. I feel like that wasn't a bad list. I just think duality is not a great card in retrospect. Like, it's a fun card. It just doesn't help you do much. It's good against Kashtira. That was the thing. Like, I used it against Kashtira, so like it was nice to auto go into a Dragoon, which was good against Kashtira. But like, obviously you can't pop with the duality Dragoon, so it wasn't as good. So I think those could go, especially if you have the thrust, like the world is yours. Just take those out and then just run the deck as is, frankly. I think it would be just pretty good. Phantasme. Oh, you have a hand trap package. And the side. I can see what your siding patterns are, so it's probably like, it makes sense, but I think Phantasme is I would love to know what you're using Phantasme against. I don't think Phantasme isn't really that great right now, but I think the rest of the hand trap package makes sense if you're doing a hand trap package. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do, and I think running an extensive one works, but I don't think like I said, I think generally board breakers are the way, but you do have the Super Poly with the Imperm and you have the Droplet, so I mean, I just think you're going to lose to back row decks not having spot removal. So I think having something like a Borreload, Savage Dragon, or a Magnum the Reliever is extremely important in your branded deck right now. Not having that, you're just going to lose to stun. So that's what kind of like this list and a couple other lists, I think Dragoon helps with that. But like, I think that's something that a lot of people are going to have to contend with going forward. So we have Slayer's list right here. David says, yes, maybe I'll cut the Dragoon for another Mirror Jade or Dark Magician with another, or Dark Magician. Or maybe 2 cards put in the Droplet. Oh, cut those cards. Got it. But but definitely put in another Mirror Jade. Yeah. And then cut the Dark Magician or something. I find Dragoon very, very strong against stuff like Raid Raptors. It is strong against Raid Raptors. I just feel like you could run Starving Venom if that's definitely a card you're dealing with or a deck you're dealing with. But I get it. Dragoon is like an all-arounder. So like if that helps you with Raid Raptors, you could keep it in. Like if you see Raid Raptors, you need to have Raid Raptor outs. But obviously that deck is pretty rogue. He's missing out on a Stapelia too on that last list. That's a rest in peace. I like this list. It has allures, it has high spirits, it has a thrust in there, it has droplets. it's an interesting list. I think there's not enough monsters in it though. Maybe just upping it a little bit, like putting a kit in there for the extra dark. Magnum up would help. Maybe another Saranir. Dark Law on the side is for fire going first. It's like a going first option. Also potentially going second, but yeah, it's just like, it's basically game over against fire decks having that on board unless they can Kieran pop you. I don't even know if Kieran can resolve. That Salty Fry says, alright, kids down, we vibing. How's the Branded fam doing? What's the, yeah, so no, Dark Law is interesting. I just feel like you have too many sides for going first. You could take out the summon limits if you're running though. The Dark Law thing. Dark Law is pretty good going first. It could be like a decent going first option. Package on the side. Two tactics might be a little bit too much at 47, frankly, but it's a good card. High Spirits isn't doing a lot here. You could take that out, frankly. Proskenion's cool. I like the double Grand Guignol. I like the Lulu. So definitely some things you could change, but it's a cool list. I like where it's going. Here is Liam's 4-1 at locals list. Good job, Liam. We love Liam in the chat. We have Shifter in the side here. Shifter jump scare. Yeah, it's definitely really interesting, that Salty Fry. Definitely definitely interesting. People did it in Tearlaments too, because it helps you dodge Imperm. So like people run Mass Change the second brand Despia because there's two reasons. You can go first and you can turn off fire decks, graveyard effects, because they're all going to get banished. It's also a hand rip, but also you're able to dodge Imperm on a Luber because you can just go Mass Change the second when they Imperm your Luber, and you're obviously able to then get a Dark Law out of it. Now you get to discard. You have to discard cards, so you have to play an extra card. So it's definitely, and it's also not really great going second. So definitely has its pluses and minuses. Yeah, this list is interesting. I do see the Nadirs. Super probably droplet with main deck Nibiru. Wonder how they were. I do like the Shifters. Shifter is a little bit more of a gimmick. I'm very interested. I wish Liam was here right now. I'm interested how the Shifters were for you. Coolest though, I see the DDG as a thrust target too. My man is just not letting Fire play the game. Ash is in the side for Curious. I feel like there's just better options than Ash on the side without a more I mean, you do have the Nib, so like, okay. It's like fine. Double Grand Guignol, love to see it, love to see it. We have Jake the Mountain Man's gimmick puppet list. These are all new gimmick puppet cards, so we won't even have to, we can't even cover this one. We have Unchained Nick's list here. They posted last week. This is an interesting list. You're seeing a lot of Dark Magicians. A lot of people love Dark Magician around here. Droplet Super Poly 2, you guys are still... I love to see the Droplet Super Poly Nadirs. I know a lot of people don't believe in that. Those cards. I still think they're fine. I think there's other options. I think Branded can be played any which way. Like, you could be playing the Patchwork without, like, any of those cards, frankly, and just be doing fine. You could be playing with them with Patchwork, you know, just like, the world is yours with the deck. It's just about knowing your interactions and knowing how to play to your strengths with Branded, really. I think 42 cards is really interesting that he got there, though, with, like, Nadir Super Poly Droplet. Like, I'm trying to see what he cut. Oh, he doesn't have Thrust. Yeah, not having Thrust. It's always not having Thrust. So, yeah, Dino Ressa, Pankratops, and the Ghost Spells on the side with the Nibiru. I like Ghost Spell plus Nibiru. That's a really strong combination. And then Cosmic Cyclone with the Branded Banishment, and then the Feather Duster with the summon limits. Pankratops is something I've seen talked about a lot. I just don't see it being used very often. Definitely is something... I mean, it's a good card, though. It's a really flexible card. I just cut the Dark Magician, frankly. Make it like a 40-card build. I got a list, baby. Okay, I'm gonna go check out your list. How you doing, Card Limits? How you doing, brother? How you doing, that Salty Fry? My mod in chief. We had a wonderful day yesterday. Thank you very much for that wonderful Sunday. Just such a good day. Like, gonna have to do more of those. Like, it's awesome hanging out at your house on Sunday. Like, very lucky to have you guys as my mods and my friends. Propali is forever terrifying. Yeah, no, I completely agree. It's still such a good card, and it really, I was talking about this before in my rogue matchups, like it just covers your rogue matchups, which guess what, you're gonna see if you in like the first few rounds. And do you want to get knocked out to rogue? Also, it's like good against the good decks. Like, it's still usable against fire decks. You can still make Mud Dragon, you can still run Panzer Dragon, you can still set Super Poly Albaz, get around the Ambloel, you know. We got Blazing Branded King. Channel mod in the chat, Yuri Diaz. We got his list. Oh my god. What is that? What is that? Can you explain to me what this spell card is doing in your side deck? Okay, Yuri, I like it. I actually like this list. This main deck is fire. The theater might be a bit capped. Like, what are we doing with theater? What are we doing? Are we searching theater off of a Luber in 2024? Is that what we're doing now? Where's the Despian comedy? Well, you're running Dramaturge. I'm not mad about Dramaturge. Like, the theory behind it is good. I like the patchwork, the double tragedy with the 3 Cartesia, with the 2 Quem, with the Adlib. I think that's like perfect ratios, especially when you're running a lure with the 3 Shrouded Dragon. 1 High Spirit, so you can still do some shenanigans since you do have the kit and you do have some dragons. Oh my god, dude, it's a burn deck. There's 3 Masquerade. I didn't even see the 3 Masquerade. Now I know what we're doing. Chain Energy is like anti-overextending. Oh my god. Card limits in the chat. I witnessed one opponent locked himself out with there. It can be only 1. So branded player played deployment. No monsters on the field. Summon Dark Magician attack for game. That is the thing. Dark Magician can just get you there sometimes, especially under skill drain or something. Like it's a 2500 beat stick. And then it can attack over SP Lone Knight, you know, without like activating an effect that will trigger an SP. So that's kept pretty cool. Like there's pluses and minuses to Dark Magician. I don't think it's a bad card. I just think like we have other options. Like Yuri really likes Dragoon. So like I always say this, me roasting your guys' deck list, like you really have to take it with a grain of salt at the end of the day. This is like what my flavor of branded is of the week kind of thing, a lot of these opinions. And, you know, it comes from my years of, my year of experience, I guess my year or 2 of experience with branded, in my coaching sessions and all that fun stuff that like, you know, where these opinions come from. And there are correct and non-correct things. Like there are not correct things in deck building, as you guys, I've been roasting deck lists here, as you guys know. Yeah, no, it's not bad at all. My man is on the Chain Energy goo. This is crazy. My man's about to burn me for freaking game. Where's the branded in white though? This isn't a serious list. Where's Brandon in white? We're supposed to be making Masquerade. Elik, how's it going? I'll review your list. Oh my god, everyone's on Dragoon. Everyone's on Dragoon. Am I just gonna be forced to run Dragoon now? Oh my god, like every list has been on Dragoon. Alright, we got 50 card list. We have 3 Aluber, 3 Albaz, 2 Cartesia, 2 Quem. 50 card list with all the one-ofs. That's fine to me. Especially if you're running the deer for the extra extension. But we have the Dark Magician. We have the Super Poly. You know what? Also, Cartesia with Dark Magician hand and Albaz kind of goes hard. That's all I'm saying. Also off a fusion deployment. Not bad at all. I would just say 3 tech talents is a bit too much. You could go 2 to 1. 1 duality is some Yuri Diaz spice. Chicago in a card says Yuri Diaz. That is what Dragoon is Chicago in a card, which one can only imply that means it is definitely a good card. July Vasquez, happy 4K, bro. Proud of you. Keep up the fire content. Julio from Puerto Rico. Yo, Julio from Puerto Rico. I appreciate you, brother. I think I remember you coming through to chat like maybe a few months ago or like whenever it was. I appreciate you. I knew I had a couple Puerto Rican fans. Appreciate you, brother. Thanks for coming by. Appreciate the kind words. That Salty Fry says Yuri said he don't need Gimmick Puppet. He'll just tax dragon you to death. That is totally fair. I mean, honestly, sometimes that just do be that way. I had a coaching session recently where my man made Masquerade, and it basically just burned the guy, the Infernoble super heavy player, for 6,000 before he was able to out it. It's like, holy cow, the value. But yeah, this is Elik's list. I like it. I do like it. I like when you do interesting stuff like duality. I just think duality, like one of duality's not bad. It's like when duality resolves, it's like it's an ability to dodge imperm. It's also gets out Dragoon and also gets you a recycle. So it can do 3 really good things for you. Sometimes it just does none of those though. So I think one of is fine because it is a once per turn, so you don't ever want to see it. It just becomes a hard draw though, which is like my issue. And then one Mirror Jade. That seems a bit tight for me, especially with one Grand Guignol. I've been trying to say, guys, you either want two, preferably 2 and 2, but a lot of the times you can't fit it. And like I said, you do want to find some room for some anti-spell trap cards. I think Dragoon might fit that bill, honestly. Like Dragoon can fit that bill of like a Boral or something, or maybe a Magnum perhaps. Like I won't hate. Like I think you need to have like a Dragoon or a Magnum or a Boral kind of thing, just to take care of all these stun decks and back row decks. We got another hand trap package too, which is quite interesting. I guess we'll just go back in time and go through newest builds to oldest builds. So the Buketh, this list is a branded Predaplant build I've been testing out. I would like to help get some build suggestions. I'm gonna grab some water quick, guys. Make sure to leave a like if you have not already. Thank you all for being wonderful and coming through and spending your Monday night with me. Appreciate it. Thank you all for being subscribed. Road to 4K has been achieved, guys. We're gonna try to hit 10K by the end of the year. 44 cards. We see the Duster in the main with Branded White with 3 Shrouded Dragons. So you made the Brand White engine work in a low card build, which is something you don't see every day. 1 cart, 1 Quem. I think that's fine in like a 44 card build, I guess. High Spirits, I guess that's fine too. It's actually solid. Not bad. Especially with the thrust, maybe like add Nadirs, but like obviously this allows you to run a lot of extract cards. I don't like Mysterion. I don't think Mysterion's very good. If you already run Garura, you should just run the Nadir Maximus, and it just increases your consistency a bit more. But I think you also need some spot removal. I mean, you do have the Feather Duster, but I think you need like something like a Magnum the Reliever, or a Borreload, or like something to get rid of back row. We have David 1999's list here, 60 card branded list. I feel like we just, oh no, we already reviewed that. We reviewed Marley's. We got Portal Spirit, channel member in the chat, Portal Spirit's deck, 46 cards in the main with the Nadirs and the Maximus and the drop. I'm having like PTSD, guys. There are so many just Nadirs, Droplet, and Super Polys. And then ad-lib. I do see the ad-lib. We're just gonna start talking about the differences, basically, if they're all just like the same base. I like the so do you, these things as time option, I generally don't recommend, because I think branded with Gimmick Puppet, you shouldn't be going to time most of the time, because you're gonna have one game that lasts like 5 minutes for the most part. Yeah, I would just take out the Mourners. I think Bells are fine. I think maybe put Nibs instead, you know. You have a lot of spot removal too, so that's nice on the side. Ad-lib is cool. Just maybe like a Boral or something. Double Grand Guignol stuff I've talked about. I don't think you need Lulu. But these are all things you can run. But I do like your list, Portal. It's very solid. You have GZ 1000's list here. Another Dark Magician build. With the 1 Nibiru with the crossout package. With the 2 Ash and 1 Imp. Those are probably like the most important hand traps. I mean, I think main deck Ghost Spell might be an issue too. So I would main 1 if you're on the crossout package. Yeah, but anyway, I like this list enough. I mean, if you don't have the thrust, you know, crossout might be your next best option, you know. When you don't have thrust, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. I understand. I think Droll on the side is pretty bad here. Not a great crossout target, and also it's not great against Lux right now. It's good against Fire King. It's like, okay. It's good against Voiceless. It's just like, I'd maybe like be signing like a Veiler or something. You know, like, if you're gonna be signing a hand trap. Solid list though. Romian, the Branded Idiot. New channel member. Wondering about the ratios, mostly 1 or 3. Also, please, like, if you're gonna send me in a list, put it in, like, vertical view, so I don't have, like, because I have no way to flip this around. I mean, I think I can, but it's a lot easier if you don't. Or if you send it so it's, like, horizontal. Or just, like, you know, that's fine. Yeah, I can't really tell. You might have to, like, resend it in so I can, like, yeah, unfortunately. CD, I see you typing in the chat, so you'll probably get me on that. I appreciate it. CD Sonic in the chat has a list right here he posted. We got 3 Albaz, 2 Cartesia, 1 Quem, 1 Shrouded Dragon, 1 Mercurier, 1 pretty standard ratios right here, but it's 42 cards with 2 Thrust, 2 Talents. I'd run 3 Thrust, unless that's just like you only have 2 Thrust. The Branded Banishment in the main's interesting because it's like good against the mirror, right? But that's about it. So like, I probably won't man it. Solemn Strike's cool. I like that. Solemn Strike's good. Solemn Strike's good, man. How's the Solemn Strike been? That's what I'm wondering about this list. I think Solemn Strike's a good card, frankly. You see the OCG running it. You saw actually a lot of people running it at the UDS actually. So I think it's certainly something that we could experiment with ourselves. I don't see why not. So why do people run Lubellion but not regain, says that salty fry? Is it just win more? I feel like it'd work well with Mirror Jade. Yeah, it's win more. Since you don't synchro, it doesn't really like facilitate dissipator plays, so like it doesn't facilitate any other part of our deck in a way that does it better than what we already do. Okay, we got Bromian's updated list here. Let's check it out. Got 3 Albaz, 2 Cartesia, 1 Quem, the Adlib package with the Bestials, just a Lubellion and a Sarnier with the Maximus and Nadir. Got Thrust package, 1 red, 1 talent, so this is a 45 card build. 2 super polys, an interesting ratio with 2 droplets. It's kind of like that Hakuna Maidata ratio where you run 2/2, so you don't technically have to brick on these cards all the time. It's not a bad idea to do in a build like this, frankly. Especially when you're running the Adlib, you can only like run so many bricks, so I'm not mad about it, frankly. Let's see what the side's looking like, or the extra deck though. So I feel like your deck build would benefit from 2 Grand Guignol. Might just be able to take out the droplets, frankly, too, just to like save on some room. And like Brickless kind of thing. Put like a patchwork engine in instead. But like, I think it's fine either way. It's something to experiment with. I mean, I don't think you need Lulu most of the time. Usually you could just send Albion and Lulu, right? Also, I really need to go get an apple. I just like ate a pepper that's so hot. Alright, we're back. Apple acquired. It's helping with the spice. Yeah, we could cut Lulu. Because most of the time just sending Albion and Titanclad will get you there for the gimmick lock. Especially with 2 Grand Guignol. If you have 2 Quem, this really helps out too. The Bestials I would personally cut. I don't think they're great. I mean, you could. They're just kind of not impactful enough in my opinion. Dark Ruler's fine, especially when you have Droplet. It's like more good stuff for Voiceless. And then you have the Board Breaker package with Evenly Lightning Storm. I actually like that a lot. Your package there with Duster. The 3rd Super Poly, I mean, fair. Herald of the Abyss, presumably you go against Purrely. David King Press said before the load fires to do Therion King before they can nib me. That's awesome, actually. Alright, let's get the next list here. So here is Jake the Mountain Man's new patchwork deck at 40 cards. He likes his 40 cards. He is running the patchwork engine though with the thrust. You do have an incredible Ecclesia there as well, which is interesting. I think he's like that. With the patchwork at 2, 2, 2, 2. I'd probably run 1 poly in this scenario maybe, but this 2 could seem a little bricky in this build. I think it's always bricky, frankly. But I think it's fine like that, to experiment with, you know. How are you liking the patchwork so far? Got the Magnum too. Magnum I do like right now a lot because it allows you to play around back row decks, which you see a lot of. You see a lot of Runic Stun, you see a lot of other stun decks that are going to go set 4, and if you don't have an in-house out to spawn trap cards, you're just going to lose. So, it's pretty good for that reason. Cosmic instead of Bestials, yeah, I mean, like, Cosmics I think need to be in most people's side decks right now if you're running, Branded, or just, like, a deck that can lose to anti-spell when you don't have an in-house out. If you have an in-house out, like a Magnum, like, maybe not, or a Borreload, but, like, even that is still pretty good. So, yeah, I like the side deck. I mean, the Super Poly is interesting. It's, like, the card's so good. Also, no 2 Grand Guignol. I'd run that over Masquerade, personally. And I think this is like perfect. No Nadir, I think that's fine in a build like this. You don't really need it. You have gas with everything else. I think 2 Quem is better than Ecclesia though, that's for sure. And then the Bestials I think could go. Nip is fine. Cosmic and Evenly, I just think you maybe would benefit for something more dynamic than these Bestials. Here's Raul's 40 card consistency list. Quote unquote consistency list, because he said my man is a 60 card proficient user, and I think this is just like more of a tournament build though. You know, if you really want to max out that consistency, I think this is what he would be running. You have the High Spirits with the Albion and the Aluber with the 2 Cartesias with a lot of one-ofs, but you do have the Quem and Kit with the Allures. I like Allure a lot. I think Allure is so good right now, and like running the 3 Shroud, I think that works, especially with the 2 Branded in red. That just gives you a lot of stay power. I like this list a lot because then you can like do a lot of pro skinny on things. You know, I might up this to 2 Grand Guignol over the Sprine, but I see that the Sprine plays with the High Spirit and the Kit. Siding the Nadir servants, which is something you don't see every day, but he likes to do this for consistency going first to play through hand traps. You know, no Maximus, but you know, you can still send an Albion. And you have the Panzer Dragon for the Super Poly package, understandable. And then for the mirror match as well, or just set Super Poly Albaz, and then the Bastiles. I think Baldrake is fine. Like, if you're running a Baldrake too, I think the Bastiles are more justified. I think Baldrake's so good. But yeah, I like this list. I actually kind of want to test this. He has the Boral too. No Magnum, but yeah, he has the Boral, so it works with the 2 brand red, 3 Albion. Also, guys, I will be making this a 3-hour exactly stream, so we will be ending in like 25 minutes. So make sure you get your deck list in if you haven't already. It can go a little longer if we get a couple more channel or like another channel member, but I'm just trying to keep the stream to 3 hours. Here's Tipsy Curb's list. This is my IRL build that I'm going to take to regionals in Dallas. I feel like I'm missing something when I'm playing in locals. I can't afford Thrust, so should I have Patchwork or High Spirits plus Albion? Yeah, I did review a Portal Spirit. I liked your list a lot. If I go past it again, I'll comment on it. Big Slaps put in a new list I'm thinking about taking to locals tomorrow. Let's see. Tipsy Curb. I would be saying the Boral. I already see that. Personally, I would just like run over the Dragoon. I think it's just like better than Dragoon. And then you could like take out Lulu or like a Mirror Jade for like second Guignol. Probably just a little Lulu. Because all you need, you don't need Lulu. Lulu's good, but 2 Guignol is even better. Dropless Super Polys with Nadirs. You'll love to see it with the Banishment. I think that too. Side deck's pretty good besides that though. Oh boy. So we have some lists here from Jake the Mountain Man. Quickly, we have his Trap Tricks list. I don't know much about Trap Tricks, but if you guys have any comments on that, we do have that. And then we also have his Exodia list. This Abomination, which just turbos out Exodia by just searching all the cards in his deck. Probably has like a 60% chance of firing. We got Vogg's list he's using at 3v3 tomorrow. I'm sure it already happened. I wonder how he did. I'm sure about the side non-engine. I don't have Thrust. I feel like I have to run Crossout. I mean, you have to run you don't have to run Crossout, but I feel like it definitely probably helps. I don't think you have to run Crossout if you don't have Thrust. I don't think that's the case at all. You have other cards that can play around it. I mean, you have the 2 talents as well. Well, that's not bad. Take out the Dragoon for like the second Guignol maybe. Second Mirror Jade on Lulu. I mean, Super Poly. I think Super Poly is actually pretty cuttable right now, guys. I just think that it goes very together with Nadir Serve, and I think that's the issue. Jorge Zaragoza, dinner time with the wife. Thanks for checking out my deck, man. Congrats on the 4K. Well earned. Thank you, Jorge. Appreciate it, brother. Have a good night with the wife. Have a good time with your dinner. Thanks for coming through to the stream, brother. See you around. We do have the small hand trap package, which is understandable with the cross out. So, I'll definitely check back out your list. But this is Portal Spirit's other list he posted. It was from the branded goat in my store. He showed me his list. Wanted to get y'all opinions on it. He cooks locals every week, so something's got to be working here. All right, let's see. He has a hand trap package. He has the Bastille package. I mean, I think that's strong. I mean, 45 cards with Thrust. It's like you have interruptions. You know, if you're gonna run hand traps, you're gonna run both of them. I think Ash just hurts right now against fire decks, so I think like that's the issue. I think also Druid Storm in the main kind of hurt. It isn't great. Against like the decks, it's not great against. But it's a good deck. I do like the Ghost Ogre is gonna be a lot better coming up with Tenpai, but right now this isn't the time for Ghost Ogre. I think like Nib would do a lot better there, frankly, especially with your already hand trap package. Nib is one of the best ones. Like the rest of the side, Super Poly in the side. I mean, I would be maining Nadir if not just take out the Super Poly, frankly, and then run better cards like Boral or Magnum, second Guignol, stuff like that. It's a good list though. I think we have one other list, and then we are done with the deck list, guys, I believe. So, if I failed to get your list, I'm sorry. I just also didn't want to go too back in the future. I did, like, all the lists from, like, up until a week ago for the most part. We'll also go over Portal Spirit's list again. Since here, I don't even know if he's here. Let me know if you're here, Portal. Slayer has this list right here, though. Then we'll play a rank game for the last thing that we do, I guess. Or react to something. React to like some of my oldest videos, and then we can get off. Alright, so this is the updated list with mass change to second. I see the 2 Quem, I like that. I like the main a lot. I think the main's basically perfect. Honestly, nothing to complain about here. I just think 2 Guignol is quite good. So I do like that. Maybe like a Boral over Lulu, but that's just me. And then run like 3 Shrouded Dragon and then like another branded in red, but that's just me. You can go 49, I think. Like then then you have a lot better of a time versus a lot of the meta right now. But yeah, the Mass Change the Second is definitely an interesting goo tech choice to consider. Imperm probably not though. I mean, since you're running Droplet, I guess, especially against like Raid Raptors and stuff like that, it definitely helps. It's not a bad card. It's just not an impactful enough side for me, personally speaking, without like a bigger hand. Portal Spirit. I know I'm about to get roasted about the Dogwood, but I always end up going second and third round and losing to time. So if I can't burn, gain. Yeah, no, I understand. I did roast you on the Dogwood a little bit, and that's understandable. That was kind of like one of those things where it's like if you like that's okay, you know, especially if like everyone plays at their own pace. So if Dogwood helps you out, you know, you find yourself losing a lot of die rolls, especially, I feel like Dogwood is a perfectly fine choice to have in your deck. All right, I think that was all the deck lists, and then we can go. Did you know that I have channel memberships now? This is the best way that you can support the channel and get some awesome perks. You get access to the hidden Discord group chat, where you get to ask me any questions about your decks. You get early deck lists, some early videos even, and exclusive emotes to use in the YouTube chat. And you get to duel me once a month. The best part is you get to support amazing branded and Yu-Gi-Oh content going forward. So what are you waiting for? Sign up for the memberships down below. Thanks for watching the video.